Hey guys, it's Sammy and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing a book tag, and this book tag is the First Date book tag. This tag was created by Katie over at Kate's Book Date, so I will link her channel and her original video down below so you guys can all check it out. There's 10 questions in this tag, so let's just get into it. So I'm going to be reading the tag questions off my phone, so if I'm looking down, that is why. Okay, so the first question is The Awkward First Date, a book where something felt off. It wasn't a bad book, but lacked the spark for you. And for that question, I am picking The Perks of Being a Wallflower by Stefan Schabotsky. The thing about this book was that I was expecting it to be so much more because at the time I read this, the movie was about to come out and I saw the preview for the movie and I was like, oh my god, this looks so magical. And then I read the book and I just didn't like the format of it. I didn't like how it was written in letters, I guess. So it just wasn't my cup of tea. It wasn't a bad book. It just wasn't something that I thoroughly enjoyed reading. The next question is The Cheap First Date, a book that turned out less than you expected. And if you've been watching my channel for any amount of time since like June when I read this book, you will know that this book is A Monster Calls by Patrick Ness. I was expecting this book to be fantastic because everyone I follow on Goodreads gave this 5 stars. I mean literally everyone, and I read it and I didn't like it. I just didn't like it at all. At all. It's okay. It's okay. The third question is Well Prepared First Date, a book that was better than expected. And this would definitely have to go to All the Boys I Loved Before by Jenny Han. I wasn't expecting too much out of this book. It had very mixed reviews when I looked on Goodreads, but I read it and I loved it and like I adored it. Like it was one of my favorite books this year so far. So this was definitely better than expected. The next one is Hot But Dumb. Pretty book, but not so hot on the inside. This 100% goes to Me, Earl, and Dying Girl by Jessie Andrews. I loved the cover of this book. I thought it was so vibrant and pretty, and I loved the graphic of it. I hated this book when I read it. Like I really did not enjoy this book when I read it. Once again, the movie was about to come out. It looked really good. I wanted to pick up the book. I read like maybe 50 pages of this, then skimmed the rest to see what happened at the end. I didn't like how it was written. I didn't think that the main character in this was funny. Everyone raved about this book too, and I just didn't like it. I really didn't. I wouldn't recommend this book. Don't do it. So next one is Blind Date, book you picked up not knowing anything about. And the book that best fits that description for me is definitely Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children by Ransom Riggs. I picked this book up probably 2 or 3 years ago now, and I adored this book back then. I need to reread it before the movie comes out, but I picked this up not knowing anything about it. Back a couple years ago I was really into photography and I heard this book had tons of photography in it and I was like, I need to read this. And I loved it. I really did. I haven't read it in so long though, so I forget everything about it really. So I need to pick up this book and then finish the series and then watch the movie, and yes. The next question is Speed Dating, a book you read super fast. And for this one I'm actually going to pick a trilogy, and that is The Selection Series by Kira Cass. I read these books so fast. I read each of them in like a day, and if it wasn't a day, it was like maybe 2 days. I loved these books and they were so fast and easy to read. They were definitely pleasure reads. They were like fluff with a little bit of drama. I loved them. If you haven't read the Selection Series, it's really quick, it's really easy, and I think you'll really enjoy it. Please, just read them. It's great. The next question is The Rebound, a book you read too soon after a book hangover and it kind of ruined the book for you. This would definitely have to go to 100% Pride and Prejudice by Jane Austen. I just finished this book and I didn't like it, but like I knew I would, like I could like this book, but it just wasn't the right time. I had just finished A Court of Mist and Fury and I just wasn't ready yet. I don't think I'll ever be ready. I need a really good book. I didn't hate this book. It just, no. It wasn't, no. The next question is The Overenthusiastic Date, a book that felt like it was trying too hard. Guys, don't hate me. The Fault in Our Stars by John Green, to me, felt like it was trying way too hard. I don't know what audience this was trying to appeal to, but it just felt like the metaphors, the language that they were speaking, like the words, it was too much for me. Like teenagers didn't talk like that. Even like the most intelligent people I know just don't talk like that. Like, no. It felt like it was trying too hard. I gave this book like 2 stars. It's fine. Don't hate me. The next question is The Perfect First Date, a book that did everything right for you. Guys, this should literally come to no surprise to you, but A Court of Mist and Fury by Sarah J Maas. I've made like 4 videos for this book and its previous book, A Court of Thorns and Roses. Guys, read this book. Read it, please. And then the last question is The Humiliating First Date, a book you're embarrassed to admit you like / embarrassed to see reading in public for whatever reason. And there aren't a lot of books that I'm really embarrassed that I've liked or embarrassed to read in public, and if there is some I'm embarrassed to read in public, I don't own them. If there was one that would be like overall embarrassed to read in public, probably like 50 Shades of Grey or like The Girl in 60. But from the books I own, I think a book that would be a little embarrassed to read in public is the Percy Jackson series by Rick Riordan, simply because I feel like I'm not trying to bash on anybody that reads this book because I want to read these books, but like I feel like it's well known enough that people are like, isn't this book about like 12-year-olds? And I am not 12. I feel like it's lower age limit. It doesn't make any sense. This is a middle grade book, but I still want to read it. But like it's kind of embarrassing to read in public because a lot of my friends read this book in like 6th grade. It's fine though. Like I'm still gonna read this eventually. Don't you worry. So that's it, guys. I'm not gonna tag anybody specifically because Katie tagged literally everyone. So once again, make sure you're not already tagged in that video. Links down below, check it out. So I'm just gonna tag everybody that watched this if you haven't done this tag yet. So thank you guys so much for watching. Have a great day. Bye!